Hi guys, just a quick and easy one today. I'll be honest with you, I've been a bit in a bit of a creative funk lately. Um, but I have got a few ideas brewing, but I just thought I'd do a really simple one today. And all I've done is gathered pieces of scrap that I've got lying around. Like this was a bit of a chippy choppy one that I did, and it's just silver and translucent by the looks of it. This is a little white and silver stripy cane that I did. This is the cane that I showed you how to do the other day. I did it in blue, I didn't do it in purple, but it's the same cane. And then that cane ends. But I have picked out colours that are all going to go together. So this is the majority of this is translucent white and purple, and there's a little bit of black. Actually, I think I'm going to take that piece out. I think I'm going to take the pieces out that have got black in them so it doesn't creep into the overall look. And then there's like a end of a bullseye cane there. But like I say, it's a lot of translucency in this, a lot of translucent clay in this rather. I did do another one of these using scrap cane ends, etc. And it came out really nice, so I thought I'd show you quickly how to do it because people have been asking. It's really not that different to the technique I did with my husband, just a few slight tweaks, and it's a very popular technique kind of all over TikTok at the moment, except I'm using scrap cane ends. So get whatever you can find in terms of scrap, and I'm just going to cut some of this with the black in it. I mean, there's still going to be a little bit of black showing, but not too much. Alright, so I've just got all these cane ends and pieces of scrap, and I'm just going to start chopping them. It's chippy choppy. This is another cane that I did, and it's got a lot of translucent in it and a little bit of purple. So I'm just going to chop it all up, and it's all going to get thrown together in one big block. But yeah, I do recommend that you kind of match colours, and when I did this before there was a lot of translucent clay in the mix, so I'm going with that again today. So I'm just going to take each little bit and just chop it randomly like so. You might as well use up your scraps. This is a good way to do it, particularly if you do canes. I mean, it doesn't have to be cane ends, it can just be any kind of scrap really. But I do like the translucent look this gives, so that's why I'm using translucent canes, scrap cane ends. I mean, you could throw in a bit of chippy choppy, or even just clays that you've mixed together that have got translucent in them. So like if you mix some translucent with a hint of green or whatever, you know what I mean guys, just translucenty scraps. I think we're going to get quite a lot out of this one. Quite a big block. Now again, you can chop the pieces as big or as small as you want. Oh boy, this is a lot of scrap. But do you know what? It's time I kind of went through my scrap and did this kind of thing anyway, because I have got so much piling up again. I'm terrible for making stuff and then just kind of putting the scrap in a bag and then, you know, putting it away never to be seen again. But really I should go through all of it and start mixing to get some colours from it, but it's one of those things I can't face to do right now. So when you've cut all your pieces in as big a chunks as you want, I'm just going to chop a little bit more actually. There's some real chunky pieces in there. and you know, and try and get all those different elements all nicely distributed throughout. So just mix it up. Oh my gosh, this is a lot. Okay, I think I'm good with that, and I'm not too concerned if little bits clump together because it's just all going to get put together. And then what I'm going to use is some liquid translucent clay and try and squeeze some out all over. Like I say, this is not a new technique, but I tried it using scraps and I really loved the way it came out. I'll try and get a little bit more out of this. I'm running low, I think. I think I've got a new bottle somewhere. Alright, so drizzle your liquid Sculpey translucent over that, and then get out your silver foil and just shred that all over the pile. Now, in the last one that I made, I actually used, there was actually some scrap that had the opal, Primo opal clay. So there was some of that chunky glitter that kind of showed through. So I think I'm actually going to add, I didn't even think about it until now, so I've got to grab that. But I think I'm going to add some chunky glitter to this as well. So let me just grab that, guys. Won't be a second. So I've got this fairly, it's not like mega chunky, but it's fairly chunky. It's not fine, and it's kind of the similar glitter that you get in Primo opal clay. So I'm just going to throw some of that in as well. Maybe just a little bit more. I'm not being precise, I'm just kind of all mushing it all together, and then I'm just going to toss all of that together. I might need a little bit more of the liquid clay, but we'll see. I mean, it's fairly soft clay, so it should stick together okay. I think I'm good, actually. Alright, so I've got my pile of mess here and all that sparkly goodness in it, and I'm just going to squish it into a block. I decided not to use any mica powder in this, and I didn't in the last lot that I made, and it came out pretty good, so I'm not concerned about getting all those individual pieces separated by putting mica powder in there. I'm just doing it like this, and we're just giving it a good old squeeze all the way around and getting it into a nice compressed block. And I'm really hoping this turns out as nice as the other ones that I did, but you know, there's no guarantee because you're using scrap, you don't know how it's going to turn out. But I have gone with similar colours, so here's hoping. Okay. Now what I'm going to do, once you've got it into a nice block like this, oh my goodness, this is a big block, wow. I'm just going to do the usual thing of taking off slices, and that's what it looks like so far. And you can actually see quite a lot of the elements of the cane, different canes that I used coming through, but it's not going to stay that way. And I'm just going to piece them together like this. Try and get them equal, she says, and that was not equal at all. and just piece them all together. And it doesn't matter if there's a thick bit, but I think I am going to take some of this away because it's a bit, if I can, just slice a little bit of that back off. And these bits I'll incorporate those bits as well. This one's a little thick still, so I'm just going to try and cut it in half. That's better. And just plonk them together, and you can even incorporate these little bits that you already sliced. Alright, so just piece all your bits together like this. And then give it a roll just to make sure they're all stuck together. This does have a tendency to separate a little bit if you don't get it nicely stuck together. Let's go this way with it as well. I'm going to lift it and see what it's like. See, it's like separated a little bit here, so I'm just going to try and squish it all together. I'm going to give this a roll from this side as well. And then what I'm going to do, is I'm going to take this whole slab and I'm going to pass it through the pasta machine on the thickest setting. So I'm going to go this way with it. So let me just go and do that quickly. Okay, and I've just done that on the thickest setting of my pasta machine, and again it's broken open, but not to worry. Just give it another good old squish like so. Right, so we've got quite a long strip here. And I'm contemplating whether to add some more silver leaf. Do you know what? I think I am. I think I'm going to add some more silver leaf to this. But I'm just going to flake it over the surface. So this isn't really going to get in mixed in as much as the stuff that I already used. I suppose I could have just done this. I suppose I didn't need to do it before, but hey ho. So I'm just going to messily, randomly, just flake this all over like so. If you've got those sheets of metal leaf, that might work better, but this is all I have. So I'm just going to place it on there like that. That'll do, I think, and my fingers are all covered in it now. Oh well. Right. So I'm just going over just to make sure all those pieces of flaky metal leaf are pressed on there. And I'm going to give my hands a wipe to get rid of some of it that's stuck on my fingers. Now, in the video that I did with my hubby, when we did, it's similar, it's not exactly the same. He added a layer of paint on the other side of the clay. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to leave it as is. So, I've literally chopped up all my scrap ends, sliced them up, placed them side by side, rolled it out onto the thickest setting on the pasta machine, slapped some metal leaf on there, and now I'm just going to start from one end and tightly roll all the way up to make a nice big sausage. Oops, and it broke. Don't care. So I'm rolling this up into a nice big sausage. like so. So now we've got this big log of clay, and I'm just giving it a gentle squeeze just to make sure it's mushed together good. Give it another roll, and I'm just going to reduce it a little bit, not too much. Just want to lengthen it a fraction, and this also helps to get any air bubbles out as well. So now we've got this long sausage. I'm just going to go a little bit more with it, I think. And there's no exact measurement or anything like that. I'm just making it a little longer. So there we go. And I'm going to take one end, fold it over, give it a good press together. And I'm contemplating whether to fold it again. I'm just going to take a look inside this just to see how it's looking so far. And I think I am going to fold it one more time, so I'm just going to elongate this now. I'm not necessarily keeping it round now at this point either. You know, round. It's more squared off at this point. Because I'm trying to think whether I folded it once or twice on the last one that I did, but I don't suppose it matters. But I'm trying to get as close as I can to the other one that I did, but I'm not holding my breath. We'll just see how it goes. Alright, so when you've stretched out this cane here, I'm thinking whether to fold it that way now instead of... I don't suppose it really matters. I'm just going to go like that. I'm just folding it in half. And then I think that's as much as I'm going to fold it. So now I'm just going to turn it back into a block like this. Make sure it's all nicely stuck together and compressed. And I am going to just see how it looks depending on where I cut it, because again I want to try and get it like I got the last one. That's looking a bit stripy, so if I cut it this way, yeah, that's got more swirlies in it. I guess you could mix and match, so it depends which way you cut it, but I think I'll do that. So I've got some more like liney bits and a few swirly bits. And again, I'm just pushing them all together like so. Let's try from this end. Ooh, that's pretty cool. More swirly bit. So yeah, it's an idea to cut from different parts of the cane. You're going to get a little bit of a different look. I kind of like that actually. This is just about having a bit of fun really, and just playing to see what you can get. Yeah, I like that. So I'm just going to push it all together. Let's cut from this way, see what we've got. And I'm just piecing them together randomly. There's no rhyme or reason. I'm just making a slab. And you can see I'm doing this in a different direction as well. So again, just play with it. It doesn't all have to go in the same direction. I think we'll just carry on cutting from this now, this way. Put that there. And then that's probably too thin, so I'm just going to discard that little bit. Alright, so there we go. That's the slab. It's just a case of rolling it out, making sure it's all stuck together and it's nice and smooth. And then you can cut out your pieces. Simple as that, guys. Like I say, just a quick one today. While I try and get my head into gear to come up with something new for you guys. I feel like I've been stuck in a little bit of a rut just lately, and I think it happens to everybody that does tutorials. You come to a place where you think, oh, now what do I do next? It's all been done, you know. And I like to keep things a little bit different if I can. I mean, if you've got any suggestions for me, guys, of what you'd like to see, but I'm trying to steer away from faux stones at the moment. I've done quite a lot of those. I'm not saying I'll never do one again, but if you can think of anything other than a faux stone that you'd like to see, just leave a comment and I'll see what I can do. And it will help me out because I feel like my brain's a little bit stale at the moment. So I've pieced it all together, I've rolled it out. I'm just going to flip it over and give it another little roll on the back just to make sure that it's all stuck together. And don't panic if a little bit of the silver leaf pokes through here and there, because these are going to be resined. These pieces will be resined. Although I did sand and buff one piece and it looked amazing, but because there is quite a bit of silver leaf in there, I am going to use... Let's remove that tipsy hair. So I'm just going to lift it one more time just to make sure it's all together and relatively level. If you wanted, you could pass it through the pasta machine on the thickest setting, but I'm just going to leave it like this. I think it's pretty level. Just going to give it a quick burnish, and I'm not using that horrible card that I used last time because it just stuck to the clay so bad. So I'm using this. It's I think it's like I don't know what you call it. It's not card, it's not paper. I don't know what you call that. Is it vellum? Vellum or paper or something? I just found some of it lying around. Got this as well, it's in a pinky colour. Like I say, it's neither card nor paper. And you can tear it, but it feels almost plasticky. I think it's called vellum, but correct me if I'm wrong. Or velum, I don't know. Okay. So I'm just giving this a quick burnish. And I'm going to put it on top of this. I'm not going to bake it on this, but I just want to make sure this is burnished as well. Because when I burnish things on top of my tile, if I'm not going to put a back on my clay, then it tends to leave divots, so that's why I usually burnish on top of paper. But like I say, that stuff that I used last time was just horrible card that just stuck to everything. This isn't going to stick, but I just want to make sure both sides are nicely smooth. Okay, so I've got my little domey bowl thing. You could just use any kind of bowl to dome something with. I'm tempted to go with a big piece like this. Yeah, I think that's a nice size. And I'm just going to take my cutter, give it a cut, and it's as simple as that. And I'm just going to place it on my little bowl that I've got. So that's going to get a nice dome. Like so. And I think I'm just going to cut freehand for the next one, but I think I'm going to put it back on my tile so it doesn't move around too much. So let me see. I think I'm going to go here and cut myself just a freehand kind of shape. You don't have to do this, obviously. You could use a cutter or a mould, but I'm just going with a bit of a more organic look on this one, like so. And I've got all this left, so I can make a ton more things with it, but I'm just going to do these two on camera. And this just needs tidying up a little bit. I'm not going to dome this one though. Now, where did my blade go? Just want to use this flexible blade just to tidy it up a little bit, smooth it off. Like so. I'm kind of getting bored with the cutters that I do have, so I've been doing more freehand shapes. We bought a 3D printer a while ago, and I've still not used it. My husband uses it for things, but I haven't used it yet. I don't know. I could have been making my own cutters, but I haven't done it. So, partly because he hasn't shown me how to use it, and I'm hopeless with things like that. But maybe one day. Alright, so that's the other piece. Just going to rub any crumbs away. And that's a more organic piece. And like I say, there's all this left as well, so I probably will cut out a few more pieces, make some earrings or something. So I'm going to go and bake these. I forgot to mention that all this scrap that I used was all Primo. It was all Primo clay. There's no mix of clays in there. And people do ask, what temperature do I bake it on and for how long? Well, the temperature is always stated on the package, as is for how long you bake something. But I've always baked my pieces longer than recommended on the package, just because. So for something, you know, just a regular pendant, although this is quite a thick one, I would probably bake it for an hour. Okay. Even a thinner one, I'd probably bake it between 45 minutes and an hour. I always bake it longer than recommended on the package. It's just better to be safe than sorry. So that's what I'm going to go and do. I'm going to go and bake these for an hour, and when they've cooled down, I'm just going to sand the edges and whatnot and just mess around with them for a little bit, and then I'll be back. Hi guys, I'm back, and I've finished the pendants other than to put a cord through them. Now this is the round one that I did, so that's what that one looks like. And I just resined the front and added a pinch bail. I get all of my pinch bails from Amazon because people often ask, although I do leave links in the description. So again, I will leave a link for these. And for those of you that don't know, the description is the little down arrow that's next to the title of the video. Click on that and all the information is in there. And this is the other one that I did in that more, you know, freestyle shape. And again, resined, and one of my new chunky pinch bails on there. So there's that one. And I also did this one, and I did a few more pieces as well, but these are the ones that I sanded on the sides and resined, just to give you an idea of different shapes that you can do. And I did this one in a mould as well. Okay, now the mould, while we're talking about moulds, this is the mould that I used for that one, and I got this and others from Yaroslav Molds. He's based in Russia, and currently his shop is not open, so I can't give you a link for the moulds, unfortunately. So there's those ones, but I just want to quickly show you a couple of others that I made using a different batch, using the exact same technique, but obviously using different colours of scrap. Now I think these came out amazing, and that's why I wanted to do it. They're the same in pattern, but I think I prefer these colours, and I honestly couldn't tell you specifically which colours, because it was just a bunch of scrap and cane ends. Mostly translucent again though, but I can see a little bit of red, I can see pink, I can see a little bit of green, and also purple. And I do know there was some Primo Opal clay in there as well. And I just sanded and buffed that one. And then from that same batch I did this one, again a more freestyle one with those same colours. So, you know, they're never going to look exactly the same, but they're still pretty either way. So it's a great way to use up some scraps. So there you go, guys. That's all for today. So thank you for watching, and I'll catch you later. Bye.